Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne. This is my co-author, Tolu Sarah
Mm,
Johnson, and from time to time we write a book together. And
mm,
this is the fourth interview that we're having with Jeffrey Epstein. We've got a plan for five. I don't think we've ever interviewed someone, five interviews in a row. I think we've interviewed three before. But Toulouse got a weird look on her face, like sounds like we have.
mm.
She's may have been her husband and John Lennon and stuff, maybe. But she's doubting what I say, so I can't be sure about this. This is the fourth interview in as many days with Jeffrey Epstein, and he's got plenty to say. And
Mm,
I'll hand you over to Lou.
Tulu. Is my name difficult to pronounce, Matthew?
Tolu.
You tried, but it's still not the right sound, but at least you made an effort. So thank you, Matthew. We welcome you, Papa, Jesus, and Holy Spirit, the inhabitant of heaven and earth, Diana, June, and Bethany. And we welcome our special guest today for the fourth time this week, Jeffrey Epstein. How are you doing, Jeffrey?
I'm doing good. Matthew's a little tired, but he's
Mm.
motivated to talk to someone knowledgeable and in authority and powerful, and he's got 100 little daughters, and that makes him happy too because uh, uh, the female girls, females make Matthew happy.
Yeah, yeah, but we don't want to hear about females here, Matthew, before you start going into delusion when he's too excited about them. Yeah. So, um, oh my God, you said something now. You said Matthew is tired. Well, that's an old song already. Jeffrey is always tired. I know the hymn now. I am tired. Every day, Matthew is tired. Oh my God. So, Jeffrey, back to you. So, where do we start today?
Um, you can start with my relationship with the elite.
And well, I don't know them, so it's quite difficult to understand. Like, who are the elites that you know that I know that you've got a good relationship with?
Uh, you probably don't know any of them. They're people that came out of hell. Uh, they
Mm,
uh, they travelled in elite circles. They were high-powered uh, people from secret societies.
wow, secret society.
Used to run things and used to be in control of things until their life ended and ended up in hell. And
Wow,
yeah,
wow,
we
wow.
we love people for who they are, and and God has stood up in a cigar lounge with them all there. We had a meeting of the cigar lounge where
Yeah.
only the elite came to the meeting. All the other people from other realms weren't there. And
Okay.
God stood up. You call Papa. He stood up and publicly apologized for the fact that they all went to hell, and he apologized that they'd suffered, and he says today marks the end of your suffering, and you're going to go forth and uh, come into a place to be highly used and powerfully gifted in from today forth, and it was
Wow.
a lot of weeping and a lot of crying, and
Wow.
a lot of release. And we recognised that God didn't really need to say sorry. That was justice, but the men were taken down. The last vestiges of pride and a sense of not being treated right fell off
Wow.
them, and there was true heartfelt tears and brokenness that came forth. That some of these men just needed to hear those words that things were unfair and they weren't treated right, and God, when they all started crying, God started crying too, and it was just
Oh,
a tearful, emotional
wow.
happening.
Wow. Do you know what I was thinking? Number one, I'm surprised that Papa apologized, and I'm always in awe of his humility and his servant leadership approach. It's really beautiful to see if the creator of heaven and earth can say, I apologize to all of you. They think God was unfair. And I'm sure the Christians as well that are in heaven, all the ones that were in heaven that are out of heaven as well. So God was not fair by allowing you guys in. So whatever does, it will always be unfair. Don't you think? It can
And
never.
people's opinions are people
Yeah.
affected by the flesh and by the enemy, and there's multiple things, multiple senses, things that make people think that God is unfair. Their own flesh is powerful, and the flesh of man doesn't like God, and
No.
yeah, so. But
Wow.
the fact is, God is led. What would lead God to call that meeting and publicly say
Absolutely.
that? Uh,
Absolutely.
can you imagine that happening on Earth? Can you imagine the Pope calling all the biggest leaders who've suffered
And say,
in prison? I'm sorry that you suffered in prison.
wow, 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 wow. Oh my God, I'm so proud of Papa. This is so beautiful to see. You know, it's so interesting that probably you guys will have been out of hell on time, but God was not in that state of mind to be able to make that decision. He wasn't happy. Things were going out of control. He is in hell himself. Who apologizes to him? Do you guys apologize to God as well? Are you
Yeah,
sorry?
yeah, we've all said sorry for our lives one on one with him, and we've apologized for the things we've done. And
Wow.
that sort of
Wow.
started the rest of the night. It was open to the floor, and people would uh, spend their time saying all the evil things they did and
Wow.
publicly apologize to God for that they did. So God apologized first, and then for hours and hours, men and women spoke of the evil they did and how sorry they are, and they repent and they're sorry. And I don't think God had it in his mind that everyone would repent on that day. But at the end of the meeting, all of us uh, kneeled down on our knees, and uh,
Wow.
Michael Jackson came into the room and led us all in a new song, like
My
a
God.
new song mentioned in Revelation that the 144,000 know a new song that only they know. It's just like a new song, like us. It was our song. And Michael
Wow.
had it prepared for us to sing.
Wow. That's so beautiful. Wow. Did it heal something in your heart? Did you need that as well,
It
Jeffrey?
healed something in everybody's heart. It was
Wow.
magical.
Wow. Do you think it healed something in God's heart as well?
Yeah.
Wow. So God has gained more friends now, more children that are willing to have a relationship because that might be a blocker because you could have resentment towards God or with all of those suffering you experienced now.
Yeah, it
Wow.
certainly opened up things, and so many of us love him at a greater level. And we've talked among ourselves after he left. We continued talking, and the
Mm,
consensus was he didn't need to do what he did, but
he did it.
he did need to do what he did. You know, it's both he didn't need to do what he did, and he really did need to do what he did. Uh,
I understand that. Yeah. But I guess God had to do it for himself as well. I'm sure he will have a sense of relief in his heart now. Wow. So hopefully more people will be coming out of hell sooner than they think now. You guys are the first is it the firstborn of what did you call it again of the
the
fire?
first fruits, the
First.
firstborn of the resurrection.
You said something fire the other day. Wow, that's so beautiful. Are you surprised by God's humility?
He consistently surprises us in heaven. There's so many facets to God that
Yeah.
there's so many different dimensions to his personality. One of them's humility, one of them's patience, one of them's long suffering, one of them's kindness, goodness,
Mm,
compassion, empathy, love. Yeah, there's different deep
mm,
dimensions in each uh, uh, facet of God's personality.
wow. And it keeps surprising you guys. That's so beautiful to say. Wow. What do you think humans are capable of that they really realize?
They're capable of greater love and empathy than they realize.
Wow.
But they don't operate in that because they don't have many good examples. Uh, Love and empathy is best demonstrated by a person, and people can see what is modeled and follow that themselves. People are capable of love and empathy by themselves, but it's a really good attitude. It's a really good character traits to be modeled by someone.
Wow. To be modeled by someone. Did I
Yeah,
get that? So for them to have someone in their life that's done the same thing for them to
yeah,
follow.
yeah.
Wow. Did you have any model in your life, Jeffrey, while you were on earth?
I lived a pretty dark life. There was times of joy and there's times of happiness in my life, but I spent so much of my time feeding my addiction and trying to cope with my pain. And then
Wow.
I spent time organizing things, and things were always coming back to how I was going to multiply my money and multiply my control. And
Wow.
had my head,
Wow.
I just had my head down doing evil and
Wow.
didn't have time to look up and add to people's lives and add good things to people's lives. I basically worked to ensnare people and have people
Wow.
under the control of my masters. And yeah, so it was pretty much a lot of darkness.
My God. What was addiction like for you?
What was addiction like for me?
Yeah.
Very constraining, very. It's a hard taskmaster. Uh,
Mm.
it's I used to dominate other people's lives. had
Wow.
control over people's lives. But the fact of the matter is, the person being controlled the most was myself.
My God. Wow. Man, when did you realize that?
Since I've been in heaven.
Wow. Man. So in a way, like I'm gonna use Matthew's. Sorry, Matthew. I'm just about to throw you under the bus as usual. So in a way, looking at Matthew, getting all of those girls that he slept with, that he said he's always happy because they can just do what is in control of them in the room. So in a way, he's the one in being controlled, not those people that he thinks he's controlling.
Yeah, that's true. He was under control of his addiction, and he was out of control, and he couldn't. He couldn't go one day after he had the money for an escort or a prostitute. Like, the most he could avoid it is for one day, and then he'd spend his money. So he's been consistently broke, consistently out of
Mm.
money, and yeah, and when his money increased, his appetite increased. Satan had him. Don't like to mention Satan, but his addiction had him firmly controlled. That when he
Wow.
had times of abundance, his addiction grew, and the money he
Wow.
spent grew, and
Wow.
yeah.
Man, it's so interesting. And that was what I was telling Matthew about a week or 2 weeks ago when Matthew was saying, I don't have a need for anything. I'm content. I said, you've never had. Because if you've had, you don't know whether you still be this person. You don't have choice. You've got to be content because you've always put yourself in this situation all your life. So that's an interesting thing. You've got money, it needs to go. Matthew still has that today. It might not be an addiction, but Matthew cannot budget his money. He will just be using it to buy takeaway, cribs, everything, like celebration every day. Then Matthew said, Tolu, I thought I had $400 in my account, but I had $16. I'm like, Matthew, that's a wide gap from 400 to $16. What? So Matthew will present it as if it's the fault of the bank. The bank has taken this one. I'm like, Matthew, no, 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 no. Proper planning, you need to know what is in your account. That is interesting. But at the same time, on the good side, he was still able to spend a lot of money on the gospel, writing books. I don't know how he was able to balance that, to separate $2,000 that this is for God, this is for my next book. The rest, maybe, Matthew then spend it on him. So, in a way, he still knew what was the priority in his life, don't you think?
Yeah, he spent an absolute fortune on his books, and
Yeah.
he looks back. He had the finance. God raised up the finances for him to publish
Yeah.
his book at that expensive rate, and he would have been able to publish a lot more books if he was doing it the way you do it, and £40 a book. Uh, but he wouldn't have had the income. Like, God wouldn't have raised up the massive income for him if he was only spending $40 a book. So he
Because he was
wouldn't.
spending on something else.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been spending all that money. So
Wow, it's so interesting. If I've listened to Matthew, my advisor, I'll be spending more money on books. But no, 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 Matthew, you're not giving me the advice. Jeffrey, you were not in heaven then. Then when we started writing books and we wanted to turn it into audiobook, I was against audiobook at the beginning, but Matthew later on was able to get his way because he paid somebody money to come and do the audio. I'm like, no, wait, Matthew, we're not outsourcing this. We are doing it ourselves. And I bring Matthew into the interviews to be able to get the narrators. And I will have told Matthew the instruction. Matthew, I am going to negotiate. We're going to stay on this. But Matthew gets in and said, "Oh, we don't have many people listening to our book anyway." I'm like, Matthew, you've already destroyed the negotiation. You're telling the person, like, but to Matthew, it's being sincere, but at the same time, it's being foolish as well. So it's interesting. Matthew is a very interesting being.
He's frustrating. He's a bit frustrating, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, but I've gotten used to him. But sometimes he really gets on my nerves. Oh, yeah, but I'm used to him now. It's such a nice. Matthew has got a beautiful art. But what really frustrates me most is him putting himself in the same situation that keeps breaking him down. That's what I wish I can stop him from doing. But it's getting better, just like he's looking around now when he gets message on his phone or something. Is there a distraction, Matthew? Did you get something?
No, just got a little fruit fly flying around.
I knew I knew there's something. No distraction. Matthew needs to pick his phone immediately. He needs to attend to the thing immediately. He needs to slam his laptop on my ears. There's so many things. He needs to make noise. The bag of his creeps in my ears. But I've got used to it. So, do you resonate well with Matthew Jeffrey when
Yeah,
it
I've seen his life. I've seen what he's been through, and he's much like me. That's why he'll bring his one or two of his wives around to my place and start
oh,
talking to all my daughters. And
oh, that's
spending
so
time with my daughters. It sounds like his favorite thing to do would be interact with my daughters, and
wow.
yeah, they'll be
Man,
they'll be more grown up by the time he gets here, but he'll be happy to be my friend. And yeah, I don't know
wow.
if he wants to be my friend because of me or because of my daughters. But
What do you think?
well, I'm not sure. I think he likes me, but I think he likes
I,
my daughters more.
well, he might like your daughters more, but he really, really likes you. He really likes you. Matthew likes the ones that they feel that they don't deserve God. Those are the ones he's drawn to. And I guess he likes you for so many reasons. And one of it is what you guys got in common.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure he'll want to speak to you about his experiences, things that you can't tell me because when he's going too deep, I'm like, stop, Matthew. I don't want to know the rest, please. So you'll probably be open to you. You can say anything because you've seen it all. You've seen it all. When Matthew is in delusion and he's saying all those, oh my God, how do you feel
Uh,
listening to?
it's pretty blatant and pretty honest. And yeah, I've seen his life. I've seen what he's been through. God showed me like 2 days worth of videos
Wow,
of every
wow,
sexual encounter he had and every
wow.
conversation he had, and he basically just wanted girls to be his friend and kept on looking for one that would be his friend. And
Yeah.
the girls that work in that business don't really want to be your friend. They just want their
Well,
money.
not at all. They don't want to because they're not happy to be. A lot of them are not happy to be doing that. So why? Because the moment they're friends with you, you remind them of what they don't want to be.
Yeah.
So friendship will have probably been better for Matthew to find a friend outside of those prostitutes because maybe you could have been able to make a better friend outside of that.
Yeah,
But
Chloe, his original a girl that he got engaged to. She really liked him, and they were dating for a while, and he was happy with her. And Haley, he developed a relationship with, and Chloe listens to these conversations, and Haley listens to these, and they are
hmm,
dear to him. There's a girl called Amber. She's a young girl. She listens too, and yeah, he told Amber that he'd marry her, and she may do in the future, and he's got some good memories. Just remembering his time with Haley. The three different encounters were all special and all different, and he's got good memories for all of them. And yeah, what is it about these? What is it about these girls that fascinate us and make us
I don't,
attracted and make us happy? I had
I don't know.
I had so many young girls that I connected with, and they didn't like doing the sexual things, but they liked some of them really liked me, and it's a strange thing that they're being abused, but they like you anyway, and yeah,
Wow.
it's
Wow.
perhaps Matthew doesn't speak to many people telepathically. It takes him a lot of attention to do that. Uh,
Yes, it does.
but he,
Wow.
him and me gonna have plenty of things to say in the future, and people don't understand the relationship between abuser and victim. Don't understand that you can be an abuser, what people would call an abuser, but really love your victim, really care for your victim, really want to know everything about them and want to know their life and their hopes and their dreams and really want to have a good conversation with them. But what the normal world would call you an abuser and you're abusing and they're your victims, it's not
Mm.
as cut and dried as that. It's not as clear as that. Some of my victims, some of what
Wow.
you would call my victims really liked me and would do anything for me. That's why
Wow.
I was able to traffic certain victims and have them go with multiple men because they loved
Mm.
me and they respected me and they wanted to do anything to make me happy. And you could say I victimized them in that. You could say I was using that. And I was, and that's true. But there was a relationship between me and them. There was respect
Wow.
and admiration and love between us. And
Wow.
people can't really comprehend that victimology. They can't really comprehend it.
No.
All they see is what was happening, and the only feeling they have is disgust. But yeah, just like empathy and love have to be modeled, uh, you know, uh, they can't empathize with how I feel because they're
Yeah,
they're not an abuser. They have never been
absolutely.
an abuser. They've never contemplated abusing, and they've never been in the mindset. Well, Matthew wasn't sleeping with underage girls, but he was an abuser. Like he used to
Absolutely.
get his money, and when he got the money, he'd make a phone call and get a strange girl to take her clothes off and have sex with him. And he basically abused all these women and, you know, he basically raped these women, gave them money to rape them. And, he
Wow.
just, he did that hundreds and even 1,000 times. And so he
Yes,
was
it
an
is.
abuser and he's got a lot in common with the age difference. Didn't really matter. They were still, the girls, if they could get the same amount of money they were earning from prostitution without doing prostitution, if they could earn $3,000 a week being a secretary, they would have been happy to be a secretary instead of taking their clothes off and having sex with sick and strange men. But they didn't have that opportunity and they had to do what they had to do. So Matthew was an abuser, and so we've got a lot of
Wow.
rapport and we've got a lot in common. And he would, the Moses or David or the Apostle Paul mightn't
Yeah.
be able to interview me as good. They mightn't be able to carry my voice as well because we haven't got as much in common.
Yeah.
someone who's righteous, a pastor or a priest or a counselor. A counselor may be able to do it, but there's not many people that can truly empathize and truly
Yeah.
put themselves in my position. And
Wow.
uh, I'm happy to speak through Matthew, but the world may have seen that I'm a bad abuser and I couldn't help myself. But if Matthew had $10,000 a week, he would have abused a lot too. Not just.
Absolutely. 100%. No doubt. That's why he was upset when I said if you got 1 million now, you go and sit in a nice hotel and the women will be coming in. Matthew said, I've got no sexual drive anymore. I'm like, I'm talking about before, not now. Not now. And Matthew was upset about that. I tell him the truth, whether he wants to, he will likes it or not. I say, so maybe I'm too direct sometimes, but that's who I am. So, but I empathize with him. The only thing is, Matthew sometimes forgets about who he is. He points fingers, and I always say, you've got no right to point no finger because you wrote a book about stop throwing stones, and you throw stones easily, forgetting about the book you've written. So I remind him about what he's done. There's a guy, I've forgotten his name, Matthew knows his name, that you do have a Christian podcast, and he lives with his girlfriend. And
Yeah,
Matthew was,
yeah, yeah. Come on, leave Matthew
I'm not,
alone.
I'm not leaving you, Matthew. And Matthew was like, that is not biblical. I'm like, oh my God, Matthew, you do not have no right to say nothing. Nothing. It's up to them wherever they want to do. So I remind him. And Jeffrey, he used to bang on about your files being released. Justice for women. Justice for women. And I'm thinking, Matthew, what is your business? You have no business fighting justice for women. You've not treated women right. So why are you asking for justice for women? And it keeps banging and coming back. So now the file is out. How many justice have you seen? I told him, no justice still. So, Jeffrey, I could be Matthew because I have learned by coming into this conversation with God. I used to be judgmental before as well. There's so many things I'll point fingers at people. I don't want to have a relationship with a gay person, homosexual, people of other religion. I feel it's impure for me to mix with them, to go to their house and eat their food that's been dedicated to their God. I've got all my ways of judging people, condemning them, because I thought that was what I was supposed to do, because that's what Christians are good at doing, pointing fingers. And then going under these messages, it kind of purge your heart and you're able to see differently. So that's why I'm disappointed sometimes when Matthew comes and starts just saying, oh, I'm like, stay there, Matthew. You couldn't condemn no one. Just accept them the way they are. And that's it. Now you're carrying the voice of Epstein, the same Epstein you wanted this file to be out. Have you spoken about that in heaven, Epstein?
Have I spoken about my Epstein files being out?
Yeah, with Matthew, because Matthew really wanted it to be out.
Yeah, Matthew didn't get what he wanted.
I knew he was not going to get it.
He
This
didn't.
world,
He didn't see justice done. There's hundreds and hundreds of child abusers and pedophiles that are guilty, that can be proven guilty, and you know, Matthew has come to the conclusion that they're never going to be prosecuted. There's never going to be
no,
justice done because the world is unjust, and the people who
absolutely,
have power, and they possess power for a reason. And yeah, Matthew, he's not going to like me saying it, but you'll agree with Matthew can be extremely hypocritical, and
absolutely,
and
extremely,
he uh, he points the finger really easy, and
absolutely,
and he thinks
100%.
he's like Jesus, and Jesus really wasn't
Yeah,
like that. And
no, no, Jesus wasn't like that.
and he's
Jesus
a
was,
lovely person, but he's got his foibles.
yeah,
got his problems, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I always remind him though. He doesn't get away with it with me. I remind him, clean your glass, Matthew. Your glass is a little bit muddy. Yeah. So it's interesting. That's how we Christians are built too. We're very hypocritical. We condemn some sin and we excuse some sin. And I've got to a stage now that what another person does is none of my business. I don't know why they need to do that. Even though I might be sad at some things happening in the world, there's so many unjust things happening, but there will never be justice on earth. Never, never. The wealthy, the ones with power will continue to rule. And art is not a place for justice. I believe justice is in heaven. Don't you think? That's why
yeah.
some people.
Well, it was proven to the elite that came out of hell. They were served justice in hell, and Matthew's got the understanding that people. He's starting to come under the understanding that people may burn in hell for a while, but then may just sit in a cell
Absolutely.
and not be burning all the time. Just get a taste of the flames, and then reach a
Wow.
stage of repentance, and then sit in a cell. And But he's not sure of that. He's just, just seems uh, no reason to be burning someone's flesh for 100 years.
Oh
Seems
no.
seems like a waste of time, and it doesn't seem just. It doesn't seem nice. So, we're as we introduce Matthew and you to God's heart, we're starting to
Hmm.
have reasoning through God's heart, through God's
Wow.
intellect, to say that,
Wow.
you know, even 6 months of flames is too much. Like
Hmm.
one week of flames is is too
It's
much.
enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
the video is frozen.
Can you see? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Can you hear me? I know I'm frozen, but can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear.
Okay, maybe that's how I'm gonna be froze for the rest of the session.
Yeah, yeah. We can't see you picking faces and making reactions to what I say. So when I say Matthew's been a real loser all of his life, what sort of facial expression have you got there?
Hmm.
Can't see your facial expressions.
No, can't see my facial expression. Do you want me to go out and come back in, Matthew?
Will it still record?
Yeah, you just stay on the call. Oh, it's even turned my video off. Wow. Well, okay, let's see. Oh, something
Yeah,
went wrong.
you fixed it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because I communicate a lot through my expression.
yeah.
Wow. I love that. You're right. Maybe there are better ways to do it. That
Yeah,
people.
I can't. Matthew, I'm speaking through Matthew's intellect here. He can't see the reason why someone would burn for more than a week. I think they'd get
Yeah,
their message within a week.
yeah. Because when you look at it, Jeffrey, you understand it very well. A lot of people that do bad things, they kill, they do all of these things. They are in bondage as well. They are not happy. No one will be happy doing that. In a way, they are enslaved to something that is bigger than them. So maybe that was already torturous for them. A lot of people will say the bad things they're doing, but maybe they are living a really sad, miserable life as well, that they just want this life just to end. So there's so many things in humans' life that you cannot just look at it through a binary yes or no, because that's what we were taught in the church. You sin, you go to hell. You don't sin, you stay in heaven. But what is sin? What is not sin? That is a little bit muddled up.
Yeah. What's her name? Matthew's friend Megan is up to chapter 2 in Reframe Heaven. She's been watching the videos, and she did video one and she says, I need to watch this again. So she watched video one twice. And she said,
Wow.
this is like, we don't know anything in church. Like,
Wow.
we don't know anything. Yeah.
Wow. I need to reply and
Heaven is really different than what the Christians preach it is. You know, there's so much more. Yeah, we're doing so much, and you know, the cigar lounge isn't just open to people in Realm Seven. The
yeah,
cigar lounge has been opened up to people from
everyone.
Realm One to Realm
Wow,
Seven, and so
that's beautiful.
the beginners hear so much in Realm One, they go back and get stuck into trying to learn, you know,
Yeah,
to advance, you know.
it's really good.
In realms 1 to 7, realms 1 to 6, you can ask questions, but you know it's only from realm 5 that you're allowed to answer questions. You know, so
Wow,
there's an incentive for people to get to at
to
least
grow.
realm 5. You know,
Wow,
and
wow, wow.
yeah,
That's
it's the most exciting place. You know, it's better than watching films. It's better than watching ballets. It's better than going out for dinner. It's like dinner is served in the cigar lounge. There's waiters and stuff. You can order food. You can just stay in there for hours and hours, and people's questions are amazing. And you know, little Vanessa, your daughter-in-law, she just comes out with such profound answers. You know, she's so smart. Like I can imagine Emmanuel, you know, lying in bed with her, talking all night. You know, not being able to go to sleep. He's just talking. She's so gorgeous. She's so pretty. She's dresses so nice. She's dressed in Princess Diana's top fashion, and she's a fashion icon. And
oh,
every man in the cigar lounge, every married or single man in the cigar lounge wants her. Like, would love to have her. You know,
oh
and she's
wow.
like the favorite possession of all men, especially her intelligence and her wisdom. And there's so
Oh,
many men take her aside and take her out for dinner. She's always, you know, she's not always with Emmanuel. She's just out for dinner with one of the elite, and they're just taking a voice recorder and asking her questions and recording, and they come to her with all their questions, and she answers them all. They come away and they ponder over those answers for months and months, and
wow, that's deep.
she's just the best possession of heaven. You know, she's the most wanted female in heaven, and
Wow,
and
wow.
she's married to your son.
Yeah, you got the best, isn't it?
Yeah, that elite family that brought her up with giving her to other men and
Yeah,
sexually
yeah,
abusing and
yeah.
stuff and getting into witchcraft. They really knew they had something precious with her, but
But,
they
but
were
it is.
just they were destroying her, you know?
Wow. Why don't people do that? You got, but now they know because after they lost her, they got the reality check, isn't it? That they've lost something valuable.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, it's so beautiful. I would love to speak to Vanessa. I hope I speak to her often when I'm in heaven. Yeah, because it's always good to have a good relationship with your daughter-in-law, don't you think?
Yeah, she really
That's
loves you. I've seen you and her together. I've been at the table with you both out for dinner, and I see the conversation. She's got so much love and respect for you, Tolu, that it would make you cry if you knew how
oh,
much she respected you. You know.
oh,
She's so thankful that you gave her permission to marry your son, and your son, your son's got all her wisdom. She's just, it's just like since she's had sex with your son, it's like she got a USB full of wisdom out of him. But he doesn't have to speak. He's pretty silent in the cigar lounge, but we all
Wow.
know that he's got that wisdom. She's just the one sharing it, you know. And
Because men,
men would prefer a woman to be speaking than a man, you know.
yeah, but not all men. But there's
Matthew,
some men.
Matthew was in a taxi once and he saw this couple, a male and female, get in a taxi, and he asked them what they do, and he says, "We do deals like business deals together." And he says, "Do you like my partner, like what she looks like?" I said, "Yeah, she's very attractive." Matthew said, "She's very attractive." I said, "Yeah, well, what we do is we go to boardrooms and we present to a whole board of men. She's very attractive, and she gets up and does the presentation, 90% of the presentation on the board, and the men can't take their eyes off her. And then when it comes to the figures, like getting up and she casts the vision and talks about the deal and everything that's going to happen. And then when it comes to the figures, I get up and I put the figures up for 10% of thing. And
Wow,
the men can't take the figures off a woman, but they can certainly take the rest of the presentation. And they salivate and think about dealing with her and dealing with her in the project. And they all sign with us. You know, we're an unbeatable team. But
wow.
yeah,
Because men are carried away by the beauty.
yeah, and that's what Vanessa and Emmanuel like. All the elite want them to speak, and when certain elite men qualify, they can go out with Vanessa alone, and they really love that. You know, they don't mind going with Emmanuel, but they like having Vanessa to themselves. You know,
Yeah, because it's always different, isn't it? When you go out with your husband and when you go out by yourself.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. I love that. I love that, Jeffrey. Man, everyone is so exciting. We need to be in that cigar lounge, isn't it, man? Sorry, Matthew. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Wow. It seems as if that's the place where knowledge is being shared. That's where the growth is happening.
Yes,
The
the most
seed.
exciting place in heaven.
Wow. I think it's really good that all the realms can be in the cigar lounge because that means they can soak in the information if they want to grow
Yeah.
and they can grow as well. But the desire is up to you. Is up to that person to want to grow. Not everyone wants to grow. Even with the transformation that's happening in heaven, there'll still be people that do not just want to grow. They
Yeah.
want to stay where they are, but they will keep doing the what do you call the support material? The
Resource
resource
back.
pack. They will continue doing it just to be in there.
Some people come to heaven with the questions out of the resource pack. They come to the cigar lounge and they ask the questions, but there's certain monitors in the cigar lounge that say that's a question out of your resource pack. You need to find that answer for yourself.
Wow, wow, but that shouldn't be the case because you might not know. Okay, what you're trying to say is they should speak to God themselves to get the answer.
Yeah.
That is because you
There-
can
There's
you
other
can.
sources. There's other sources of the mentor, of God,
Oh,
of
yeah, I got it.
different saints. Yeah.
So that you're not being spoon fed here in the
So,
cigar
so
lounge.
people can't spend the whole day in a cigar lounge asking questions about their resource packs.
Wow, man, it's even what you think it was going to be.
I didn't think I was going to heaven, so have
Oh,
I didn't think many thoughts about heaven.
wow, that's profound. I didn't think I was going to heaven. My God. And once you are in, what was your first
Well,
thought?
for a long time, I wasn't in heaven. I was in the flames, and I was in after the flames, and I spent a lot of time in there, it's a lot of time contemplating my life and the mistakes I made and what a different life I'd have if I was given a chance of being out of there. And
Wow.
I spent so
Wow.
many hundreds of hours, thousands and thousands of hours
Wow.
contemplating what I did wrong and what I'd do if I had my life over and if I had a chance of being out. So
Wow.
when Matthew came that time and stood outside my cell and I said, "Get me out of here," I was really hopeful someone had turned up. I was all alone all those time. And
Wow.
then years later, he turned up and he got me out
Wow.
of there. And there's absolutely no hesitation in me to do everything that is desired of me. I was, you know,
Wow.
I was contemplating that for thousands of hours. And so, I'm the first to jump at anything Charlie says or anyone says. I'm first to volunteer and first to do anything. And all of the elite here are the same as me. We all want to be used, and so many of us are reading reading the information that's being presented from the 10,000 interviews and your interviews, and we're reading the material and adding to it and editing it and writing stuff and a commentary on the stuff and making the material better. So there's so many of us who come from spiritual backgrounds and have got like the wrong spiritual insight, but it is true insight. And so there's so many editors of us going through the material and adding commentary and adding stuff. And it says in the thing King David, and then it says our commentary from such and such. So people
Wow.
know it's not the main speaker speaking, but it's commentary. And we're all uh, we're all falling over ourselves to do whatever we can to make heaven a better place.
Wow.
What was your question that you asked? I didn't answer that question.
I said, what was heaven like what you expected it to be? So, but you said you didn't even know you were going to heaven.
Yeah.
That really made me
What is making you sad?
just like being in hell, not knowing how to get out of it. That must be excruciating because we all experience time of pain. Like this morning, I was listening to one of the songs that me and Ben used to listen to a lot. It is an artist in Nigeria. It's called Panam Pasipor, and he sings so many songs that used to encourage me, like cheer up. There's a song he called cheer up. There's a song don't give up. All of those things I was saying, oh, I really love music. All of this music gave me encouragement because I knew there was going to be a time I'll be out of that suffering. But being in hell, and you say you were contemplating, but you never knew whether you would be out, that must have been,
It's torture, not knowing if your suffering is going to come to an end. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Matthew
And that
read
is,
of a guy who was a con man, and he got put in a French prison just in darkness with a bucket in the corner for his toilet. He said after a few months, the bucket had totally overflowed. They didn't change it. He was sitting in a foot, half a foot full of excrement. He couldn't lie down because he would have drowned himself in his own stuff. And he said the torture was they never told him how long his sentence was. So he's sitting there never knowing when it was going to end. And that's the same as hell for most of the guys that got out. Some of them have been there for a long time. They never knew they were going to get out. And that's that's something I'd rewrite, something I'd change the attitude, you're going to be here for 50 years.
That's it.
For,
We are
for the
going to
person who could stay there and count down the time, 49 years, 48 years,
yeah,
47 years. Um,
yeah, yeah. At the same time as well, God has been sitting in his own hell as well,
yeah,
not knowing when he's gonna get out, when the pain is going to finish.
yeah.
Wow, it's painful. Pain is good for your body, it's good for your soul rather, but still, no one wants to be in pain by choice. I wouldn't choose pain by choice. Wow. I hope other people that are in hell as well, that they deserve to be out. I hope they are out. It's quite painful what you said there, contemplating my life, trying to relive. If I was given the opportunity, I'm going to relive my life. I never knew there was an opportunity that was going to come.
Yeah.
Wow. God is merciful.
I think, I may be speaking out of turn here, but uh, I don't think God knew that he could release people from hell. I think think it relied on your leading from June. Uh,
Wow. Wow.
and I think he
Wow.
was set to the verses that say, "And the worm never dies and the fire never stops." Or I think he was conditioned by what the Bible says, a misunderstanding of what was said, and I think truly, you and Matthew and the helpers that are helping you have broached new ground and reached out to new ground, and God probably knew that. Didn't know that Christians in heaven that were causing the disruption in heaven could be removed. And
Absolutely.
there's that,
Absolutely.
you know, judgment starts in the house of God. Was
Absolutely.
supposed to be something on earth, but it didn't know that it was first going to start in heaven.
Yes, yeah, because there's so many pastors, Jeffrey, that have done worse than what you've done. They've molested a lot of their church members and they get away with it
Yeah,
because their pastors impregnate them, tell them to abort the child, do not care if they don't abort it. You don't want to hear from them. There's so many things I've heard. So, Jeffrey, you're not the worst person, even though they've made you, the world has made you to feel that you are the worst ever sexual abuser that ever lived on the face of the earth. But that's not so. There are people doing it secretly.
yeah.
Wow. I always love speaking with you, Jeffrey. I always enjoy these conversations. This conversation did go a different way for me today, but I'm glad it did because I was able to learn new things as well. It's good to know about my daughter-in-law. It's good to know about um, the saints that God apologized to, and vice versa. That is really beautiful to know all of those things. So many things are happening in heaven. I wish I'm conscious of all of those things
You know,
because I don't want.
it was really nice for you to hear that people from every realm can go to the cigar lounge, not just
Yeah,
the elite.
yeah, yeah, because so that people can grow as well. Because I'm sure people want to grow, but sometimes they're frustrated. They don't know how to grow, how to go
Yeah,
about it. So hopefully, when they mix with like-minded people, not in their realms, but the people that they're aspiring to be, then hopefully it can fire people up because the way heaven is run before is there's a little bit of separation. So you've got the people in lower realm, they're not really mixing with the people in higher realm. So the growth is now happening,
yeah,
even though people want to grow. So yeah, so this is a good idea of just mixing people together. That's why I love when my friend who is well, I won't call her friend because I don't really have a friend, but my neighbor will be a better word. She is sick and she says in their what do you call it? In their temple, there's no class. The moment you enter there, you're all the same, you're all equal. You eat on the floor together from the same plate, and that's it. That's really good. Even though they know that some they're not from the same class, but the fact that they can unify in the temple and all eat from the same plate, you might be able to rub minds together. I love asking questions. So if I have the opportunity to sit beside someone that I've admired, I'll probably not let go until the person says, sorry, told I'm gonna go. So thank you, Jeffrey. Really enjoy speaking with you. Matthew, you did so well today, carrying Jeffrey's voice, because I know at the beginning Jeffrey said you are tired, but it's you speaking anyway. Matthew, you're telling me you are tired before we started the conversation. But you did really well. So well done. But we still have part two quickly. It's not going to be long. I've only got 6 minutes to go. So has anyone got anything to say to Jeffrey from the outside?
So many, escorts and prostitutes want to say we would have willingly served you too, Jeffrey. Don't be so hard on
Oh,
you. You're a beautiful
oh,
man.
that's so beautiful. Oh my God. Thank you. Papa, what was it like listening to that again? What
Yeah,
Jeffrey said?
it's hearing from people who are redeemed and being used, all their bad habits and all their badness and all the skills that they were spiritually gifted in to use in evil ways, being transformed and repackaged and used in a good way, is
Wow.
tremendously enjoyable. The cigar lounge didn't have the seven realms in the cigar lounge
Before.
until Jeffrey spoke that forth. Right, so
Wow.
Jeffrey created that, and
Wow.
he saw it and he spoke it as though it existed and
Wow.
does exist
Wow.
now. Yeah,
Wow. Man. And then Papa, they can have access to you as well, even though a lot of times you're invisible, isn't there?
yeah,
In this lounge. That's the best way so that people can be free to say whatever they want to say. Am I free when I'm with you, Papa?
yeah.
Or
Of course.
I'm not shy or
Nah,
curtailed?
nah.
Oh,
You're very bold.
no, that's good because I don't want to be a shy.
I get you to
That's
preach in a cigar lounge from time to time, like I shared with you.
I can't imagine myself preaching.
Yeah, you get up and you speak, and then Vanessa may carry on and say some more things based on what
Wow,
you said.
that's so good, isn't it? Wow, man. I better continue practicing my preaching skills here on earth then, Matthew.
Yeah.
I love you, Papa. Always will do. Wow. Thank you. Ben, of course, I'm coming to you next.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Did you enjoy this interview?
I did. Did you as well?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
good to
lovely.
hear him speaking freely. He's very relaxed now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's so beautiful. We have to get to for today, isn't it? Because sometimes I'm sure it must be nerve-wracking to be speaking to the whole of heaven. You are used to it, Ben. Or you
Yeah.
still nervous? Or do
I
you still
still get
feel nervous?
nervous.
But you don't show it. Wow. You don't get nervous in the cigar lounge, though.
No, not really.
Because cigar lounge has become familiar space
Yeah,
for
so I like my scotch.
Wow, those drinks are bitter. Why do people like alcohol? They've not got a nice taste. What do you think fascinates people
Oh, it's
when
beautiful.
it's beautiful because you see the way when people are having shot, like their face doesn't look nice after the shot. I'm like, so why do you have it anyway? Well, maybe when I get there, I will be able to understand why. But for now, I'm still enjoying my Coke and Fanta. So, and you remember you couldn't come to cigar lounge before unless you're going to smoke. That's no longer in existence, is it? You could bring in your fake cigar.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was
We
listening
changed the
to,
rules because of you.
oh, thank you. Thank you. That's good because not everyone wants to smoke. I was listening to the Amish people that I do listen to, and they said something that was so interesting. Men are allowed to smoke, but women are not. I'm like, why? Who made all of these rules? Men can have a cigar, but women cannot, and it's still righteous. It's still the way of the Lord. Oh my God, people are messed up. Religion messes our head up. Oh my God, thank you, Ben. Let me quickly say hello to Emmanuel. Hello, Emmanuel. How are you doing?
Hello, Mum. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you
Did
as
you
well?
hear about my wife today? Did you?
Yes, I did. You don't tell me about your wife, do you?
Uh,
Well, maybe because I
well,
know. I
you
know.
heard information about her today, so
Yeah.
Jeffrey told you some inside information.
Yeah, why don't you tell me, Manuel? Why don't you tell me yourself? Because you don't need to. Well, I'll keep hearing more, and hopefully, when I get to heaven, I will have a clear understanding. So I love you, Emmanuel, and I love you, Vanessa, as well. And I love you, my dad, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Tiffany, Victoria, Bethany, all of you. I love you all.
God bless. God bless
Amen.
everybody, and have a good day.